Mr. Nobody, you took the words right out of our mouths. What's up, YouTubers of the world? Mega Geek Mixer here to give you guys episode 13 of Doom Patrol, which is the perfect episode to set up the last two episodes and the season finale of season 1. And I think this might give us a clue to what we can expect coming in season 2. And the reason I say that because of what the Bureau of Normalcy was doing. First off, why don't we just go ahead and talk about this guy that was in the cell next to Vic in last week's episode. It turns out that guy was the guy that they were trying to Rita found out about when she was helping Victor learning about what Danny the Street gave him in that magazine. Flex Mentality. He was that superhero, and we saw what he was like back in his old life before the Bureau of Normalcy kidnapped him. He had a great career as a superhero. Everybody loved him, and he had a loving wife. He was so happy. And yeah, in case you guys don't know, this guy has the power to bend reality just by flexing his muscles. Just do this and something will pop up like that. Or do that. Pop. Boom. I'm telling you guys, this guy and his powers were something. Oh, by the way, he was created by Grant Morrison, the writer, and I forget what the name of the artist was. I'm sorry I forgot. I'll make sure to put it on here. You see it on here in words when it comes back to me after I upload this. But still, I like this guy. This guy was awesome. But sadly, he was captured by the Bureau of Normalcy, and no surprise, it was in the disguise of a kid. I mean, come on. I'm not surprised right there. Especially with how, if you think back in Avengers, the first Avengers movie, and how Banner got brought over to Black Widow by a little girl. So no surprise there. But still, the reason I talked about the Bureau of Normalcy probably being the main villains in Season 2 is just because of what they did to him and his wife. I mean, okay, so first off, Flex Mentality, even though he was captured, he was not cooperating at all. He was like, you guys aren't going to do shit to me. Nothing you do is going to make me join you people, until they kidnapped his wife. And in the end, well, actually, I'll save what happened at the end for close to the end of this video, because it was not pretty. It was not pretty at all. But either case, we go back into the present, and oh, thank God, Silas Stone is still alive. He's just in a coma. But still, the damage is already done. Cyborg is already feeling hurt by what he did and guilty. That he's made it to the point where, yeah, he's not going to help them find Mr. Nobody. But luckily, luckily with the help of Rita, who is, if you haven't noticed, guys, I'm pretty sure y'all noticed that he and Rita have formed a great bond together. So no surprise that even though he's not going to help, Rita was able to help him and was able to help them, convince him to help her with getting the clues they needed to find Niles, thanks to that tracker they placed on the Beard Hunter right there. And yeah, the way they needed to do that is they needed Grid. And yeah, even though Cyborg is still afraid of what Grid might do, and after what he did to his father, thanks to Rita, he was able to put Grid back in and finally give them the data they need on where Beer Hunter is and where they can find Mr. Nobody. And speaking of Rita, we get this awesome scene with her with an old man, and she opens up to an awful thing she has done before. And it's pretty much that awful thing, and after talking about it, that makes her wake up and say, it's time to stop being bullied by Mr. Nobody and his psychological games and trying to make us feel guilty of the horrible things we've done in the past. And for her, it was in the fact that when she was still in her acting spot, and she was in a spot where she wasn't in the spotlight anymore, others were getting their chance, and then this girl named Mary, who had a baby, but her husband wouldn't wouldn't have anything to do with it. And she had a chance to help out with it, but no, she decided to just give that lady $100 and make her leave. And unfortunately, that woman committed suicide. No mention of whatsoever of what happened at Baby, and that really was something that has haunted her. But I'm sure that could go along with a lot of stuff Rita's done before in the past. But I will admit that maybe this one's even badder. But still, it is through that and talking with that old man that wakes her up and realizes she can't keep running away from Mr. Nobody and all these tricks he tries to pull on them of the horrible things they've done in the past. Oh, and speaking of Mr. Nobody, and here's the thing, I was not surprised by this at all, and that was in the fact that that old man was Mr. Nobody all this time. Why? Because it was just pretty much screaming that. Because every time now these guys ever look into stuff they have done so horribly in their past or something like that, and with all the things Mr. Nobody has done psychologically throughout season 1, it can make you just say, this is Mr. Nobody's doing. 100% Mr. Nobody's doing. And that's exactly what it was. Mr. Nobody's doing when Rita went on with that. So no surprise on that end. But now let's move on into Flex Mentality and the rest of the Doom Patrol. And that was in the fact that Flex Mentality, while he was in the prison, it turns out he and Larry once shared a cell. Larry, and Negative Man once shared a cell. Who, by the way, also they free Flex Mentality and bring him back with them. Yeah, because when the episode after the episode showed Flex Mentality's life before he got captured, it just jumped back to where they were at the end of last week's episode. And of course they were able to get out, and just in time too, when Flint from Crazy Jane's Personalities teleported them out of there. Oh, and before they did that though, and when Flex came out and saw Cliff, he said something that pretty much we have all been no doubt saying ever since this series opened up, and that is the fact that Cliff swears a lot. I mean a lot, and yes, man, did he take the words right out of our mouths when he said that? I'm just like, man, you just took the words right out of our mouths. Cliff, you swear way too much. But in the end, that's still the strength of Cliff's character. But still, for someone to actually say it, it was pretty much like him taking the words right out of our mouths. There's no doubt we're always saying that, and for them to actually put it in there, oh, that was hilarious. Super funny, awesome job there. I loved it a lot. Oh, man. But moving straight on, eventually, while all this is going on, Larry and Negative Man were having a little conversation time. And it was great to actually see the camera angle put in the eye, make us look in the eyes of Negative Man as we're looking through his eyes from when they had the camera, like we're looking from his eyes. I like that a lot. It made us see exactly how he's able to visualize things from his eyes. But like I said earlier, Negative Man, Larry, and Flex actually shared a cell once, back when Larry was in a suit and they were trying to figure out Negative Man, the Bureau of Normalcy. While Flex, he still was himself. It was like he was just, I don't know, captured recently or something, but maybe not. But still, in the end, they still weren't able to get him to cooperate until they did the most despicable thing of them all. And that was, like I said, if I said it already, capturing his wife. But there was more, but that wasn't even close to what it was, though. That makes me hate them even more now. And like I said, I'm going to say that here when we get to the ending of that. Because in the present time, Cliff and Jane were trying to help him remember. Which, by the way, during those times when they were trying to get him to remember who he is as Flex and get his powers back and stuff, there was a lot of funny moments between those two. This is why I love Jane and Cliff working together. Or if they're working together on something, they just have some of the most hilarious scenes of them all. I mean, they got that mother-daughter bond. I mean, that father-daughter bond and maybe brother-sister bond. Whichever way you want to look at it. All you know is when these two get together, it is just, you just can't get your eyes off the screen, no matter if it's dramatic wise or funny wise and stuff. It's just pure lovableness, I'm telling you. Because first off, like, here's the thing: Cliff still had that scrap note taped to him, and when he asked Jane to pull it off, instead of taking it all off, she just takes the F's off and calls him crap. Oh man, did I love that? I was just laughing like crazy there. And the fact that they kept trying and trying to get Flex to remember, but he couldn't. They were just, oh, come on. Oh, I just love those guys. But here's something I wish we did get. When they were trying to make him remember by making him watch TV and stuff, yeah, Robot Man Cliff, he did something that better yet, let's just put it this way. He smashed the TV thinking he would be super sensitive that he would attack for it. And I even admit, I was ready to be like, oh yeah, why don't these two throw that? I want to see these two throw that. But unfortunately, we didn't get it. But that's okay. It was still a fun thing right there. And I hope, because I do admit, I really wanted to see Robot Man go loose and go crazy again. Like, really show off some action moves. But that's okay. Oh, and it also turns out that Cliff, back when he was Cliff still, he actually had a little role in a TV show. But man, was his acting bad, so bad, people would just be like trying to, hey, whoa, you are the best actor out there. Oh man, it was so hilariously funny on that end. It was just great, I'm telling you. But, I think though, now we can, and before we go on though, let's get into this one scene that really shined for Robot Man and Crazy Jane, and that is in the fact that they finally got a chance to talk about the time when Cliff went into the underground to get Jane back. And yeah, Jane was going to think he was going to be an asshole about it, but in actuality, he wasn't. He said he was sorry, and yeah, he shouldn't have probably gone in there, but he wanted to save her. And if you ever need to talk about it, we can talk about it, which led into an actual moment of Jane, for one, not being an asshole herself. Okay, I'm losing myself here, guys. But you guys know what I'm trying to say here. Father-daughter bond. You just gotta love it. But still, in the end, though, they found out the best way for him to get his memories back was to get his wife back, which they did, thanks to Larry, because it was Larry and Negative Man's memories of their time to get sharing a cell right by his cell that let them know they need to get Dorothy. By the way, that's Flex's wife's name. Get Dorothy back so he could get his memory back. Which he did, but unfortunately it led into the most despicable thing that those Bureau of Normalcies have ever done, and that I just wish that, man, you could just go... No, better yet, let me put it this way. Yes, this is why in season 2, I hope that maybe those guys are the main antagonists so they can just beat the crap out of them and just beat the crap out of them so bad that that whole place is shut down completely. And that was in the fact that if Dorothy ever found Flex again, they would kill her, and did they kill her in the horriblest way possible. It just was pretty much like a reminiscing of the decimation in Infinity Wars, and it was not pretty at all. The fact that the Bureau of Normalcy went that far, I was so pissed. I couldn't even lie that I would have been just like Flex, and while he did get his powers back, he got them back in the most eruptional way, and that is just yelling and causing all the electricity in that house to go out. Speaking of which, Negative Man had something of that there too when Flex had surrendered himself, when they showed him a picture of his wife being captured by them. He showed off something like that too in his cell back then. But still, The Bureau of Normalcy, I will never forgive them for that. That's the lowest point of all to go. The way beyond unhumane thing to do. Take somebody's love of their life away, kill them like that. That is beyond unforgivable. If someone even wants to forgive them for that. Jesus. But what we also got here out of Negative Man, though, is that he and Larry, no surprise here is that if they stay separated for too long, then Larry could die. He was close to, though, letting Negative Man go. He told Negative Man, go out, have your own life and stuff. And at first, Negative Man almost went through with it, but he realized that no, he wouldn't be a good hero if he just let Larry die. So in the end, he went back to him, and Larry's all nice and good. As a matter of fact, after what happened to Flex, I think that's what inspired Negative Man to start doing the right thing, be more heroic-like. That's just the thing I'm getting out of all this. But one thing's for certain is that after everything that has happened, the Doom Patrol is ready to move because Rita came in saying, I'm done running away. It's time to take the fight to Nobody. And they were all in. And this is where we get into the scene where Mr. Nobody has said something no doubt many of us have been saying this whole time lately, ever probably close to after the beginning of Doom Patrol. And that is in the fact we finally have a superhero team that can go after the bad guy, the good versus evil, bad, right and wrong sort of thing. And I'll admit that when I first was going to be seeing this Doom Patrol TV series, I thought we were going to get something like that, like we get with Arrow and The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. But we didn't. In the end, we got this character-driven episode, which actually turned out to be the good thing about it, the strength of this entire series. And I'm not gonna lie, I would not change any of that. But to know that the last two episodes we're finally getting the good versus evil, yeah, I do like that. I do like that a lot. But it's still, what I also liked about this episode was how, like, once again, they did the fourth wall breaking. Wait, you know what I mean? The fourth wall breaking thing where Alan as Mr. Nobody was just like saying, finally, I have myself a team I can root for, a team I can actually fight. Boy, I just love those fourth wall breaking shows. It's so great when you can get those back and everything. We haven't had them in a while. Oh, it's lovable. It is just lovable. But this is definitely an episode. Great episode. Beautiful. All the way great. And if you guys are enjoying it, please enjoy it more because we are only down to 2 more episodes until we get the season finale. And I really hope they get them back with season 2. And if they do, please let one part of it be in them taking down that Bureau of Normalcy because I really want them to knock those guys out. But until then, guys, I'm going to leave it at that for today. And if you guys are enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of when I make more videos. And until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!